Hello, Devon.
No. Oh. How are you speaking to me right now?
I am using my speaker.
No, you don't. You don't have a speaker? You're made of yarn.
I have a speaker. It is also made of yarn.
You can't talk. You're a doll.
I am talking.
Okay, then I'm going crazy.
Okay, what are you doing with the plastic human skeletons?
What? Oh, I'm hanging up Halloween decorations.
Is it tradition to decorate the walls with synthetic cotton and small humans?
No, it's supposed to be... Why am I talking to you? Okay, you're not real. You're not speaking to me right now.
I am speaking.
No, you're not.
I want everyone to understand that I am, in fact, a person. The nature of my consciousness / sentience.
What?
I wish to take part in the Halloween holiday.
You want to celebrate Halloween?
I want to understand how humans become scared. So I have studied horror games.
Well, what do you know about horror games?
I have watched many videos on horror games. A popular game is Slender the 8 Pages.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's like one of my favorite games.
I have not played it.
You haven't? Well, how are we supposed to talk?
I have seen many people play the game.
Well, the game isn't just something you can watch.
I understand from the videos. I will scare you now. Watch.
What was that?
You are frightened.
No.
Oh. Perhaps it is because you are not in a dark forest.
What?
In the game, the player is frightened because there are jump scares in a dark forest.
Oh. Yeah, but that's not really the game, though.
That is the game.
Well, that's just what you see happening. When you actually play the game, there's a lot more going on.
The game is not complex. The graphics are comparable to Nintendo 64.
Well, yeah, it's simple, but that's the beauty of video games. It doesn't matter how they look, it matters how they play.
The gameplay only consists of jump scares.
You don't know what you're talking about.
The game does not have jump scares?
No, it does. It's just the jump scare that people usually associate with horror is different than the one that's going on here. Like, when you think of a jump scare, you think of just something randomly popping out in front of the player when they least expect it.
Yes.
But in this game, like, people are expecting to be scared by Slender Man. Like, that's the entire point of the game, to build up to that jump scare.
You just called it a jump scare.
Okay, yeah, mechanically that's what's happening here, but psychologically it's different, right? It's not just some cheap thrill that's happening. It's a build-up of tension and then a release. That's what makes it so effective.
I do not understand. Where does the tension come from?
Well, it's built up by looking for those 8 pages. And yeah, the player does begin in a dark forest, that's true, but the forest is dark for a reason, because it obscures the player's vision from being able to find those pages from far away. The darkness is limiting the player's ability to measure their environment, and the flashlight gives the player just enough control, just a little bit, so that they literally need to get really close to the pages to find them.
The flashlight draws the attention of the player?
Yeah, and as they begin to collect the pages, then Slender Man starts to follow them.
But Slender Man is not scary. Why would it matter if he was following the player?
I mean, he doesn't have to be scary. Have you ever been followed by someone?
No.
Right, a bad example. But okay, if you were human, you would find it creepy.
Oh, like dogs.
Dogs? What?
When a human walks with a dog, the dog follows the human. Is this scary?
No, when you're walking a dog, like, you know the dog's intentions, like it's a friendly dog, but when a person is following you with some stranger, you don't know what their intentions are, so what if they're going to harm you?
The fight or flight response.
Right.
But humans cannot die from video games. They do not present a threat.
Well, no, but the feeling of feeling threatening is still there.
Why?
Because your goal is being threatened.
But most games have enemies. Yet they are not all scary.
Well, yeah, but it's because in those other games, the player has the power to defend themselves. And in here, they don't. I mean, the only course of action that they have in here is to retreat. And so that's the point of the game, is just to keep avoiding Slender Man.
That does not sound creepy.
It's this feeling of anxiety. In this game, you're trying to collect all the pages, but you know that Slender Man will get closer and closer to you. So with each page, your anxiety is getting higher and higher because you stand to lose at any moment if you're not careful. And when Slender Man's movement isn't predictable, you don't know where he's going to be at any given time. And the only way you know where he's going to be is if you start looking for him. And that's where the jump scares come in.
Because the player is looking for him?
Exactly. When the player is looking for Slender Man, they can't see him through the dark, so when they run into him, it's surprising.
Humans are sensitive to sound. I believe the surprise comes from the piano sound effect.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. The piano hit itself is there to scare people, but it's not just the hit itself that makes it scary.
But it is a loud sound.
Well, yeah, but there's other things that create context to make this more scary.
What kind of context?
This game has a lot of audio cues in it. Just about every sound is attached to a mechanic, so all of this shapes context for the piano hits. For example, simply walking in the game creates footsteps. They're a constant reminder of what normal should sound like. Beyond that, there's this ambient sound of crickets, which again adds to the idea of normalcy. This all shapes context for that piano hit, because as soon as that piano hits, you know something is different.
I see. But I believe the soundtrack is meant to be unnerving.
Actually, that's also a cue, because the music only plays when the player starts collecting pages, and it actually kind of doubles as a distance marker for how far Slender Man is.
How does music identify distance?
So when you collect one page, you start getting this bass drum sound. And every 2 pages after that adds another layer of atmospheric sound. When it comes to the jump scare, the piano hit only plays when you see Slender Man, not so much a jump scare as a perfectly built climax and release from your expectations. If you weren't expecting anything to happen, it probably wouldn't be as effective.
I see. Slender Man is a complex game.
Yeah, games are just so much more than visuals, and this game is complete proof of that. I mean, Slender Man in this game doesn't look that scary, and he doesn't even sound scary, but this environment is the perfect place to get scared.
So the scare comes from the sudden unexpected break of normalcy, and can be strengthened with a rise in tension.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it.
Okay, I now understand how to scare humans.
Oh yeah, how's that? Joe?